So I made this vlog a while ago. It's my pediatric rotation and I wanted to share it with all of you. It's a really fun vlog. I danced with my residents. I had a great time, love pediatrics. So let's go. Day in the life of a pediatrics rotation med student. Sorry, I'm rushing because I'm late as usual, but basically usually I wake up around 6. Yesterday I slept at 10, woke up at 6. I usually surprisingly don't sleep 8 hours a night because I have issues. Yesterday I needed to because the night before I got 3 hours. I usually just start my day with just coffee, and usually I don't eat that much because I usually eat a bit later at night for dinner. So I'm just gonna drink this and then we're gonna head on our way because I'm late. Classic. I'm gonna fix this collar eventually, but this is usually what I wear: a collared shirt, khakis, black shoes. Sometimes I actually can wear scrubs. Sorry, it all just depends on the culture of the floor that you're on. My floor is very, very interested in building meaningful connections, and so sometimes we realize the best way to do that is actually not to wear white coats because that sometimes can scare kiddos. So we just wear this and it's fine. So you just have to play by the culture of the floor of the hospital that you're at, because sometimes they want white coats, sometimes they don't. It all just depends. It's 6:30 right now. We're gonna start the meeting with sign out, where the night team tells us everything that happened overnight to the patients, and then we take over. So some insight into this rotation is it's pediatric inpatient. For those of you who are like me and still had no idea what the difference is between inpatient and outpatient, inpatient is when the patients stay in the hospital. Outpatient is when the patients are outside the hospital and they usually get to leave. So it's like a clinic. But inpatient means you got hospitalized for something. And so you're gonna be in the hospital for a while. And that's when I get to take care of you, at least on this rotation. This is horrible, but I did nothing today in terms of vlogging. I vlogged when I was walking this way, but now I'm walking back in the opposite way because it's the end of the day, and I have absolutely not picked up the camera once because it was just so busy. So I apologize. I'll try again tomorrow, but I can at least still give you an update of what happened today. I got to work. What you do is you get sign out from the people who were there overnight. They kind of tell you what went up with each of the patients that's on the floor. That's great. And then the second thing you do is, once you get those updates, you go through the chart, you look at the lab updates, if there's any relevant labs, you see if there are any relevant updates from each of the nurses, you can talk to the nurses. After you get all the updates, you go and see the patient. And this is around 7 a.m. at this point, and even 7:38. Physical exam, see how they're doing, all of that stuff. Once you have all of that, that's actually called pre-rounding. So once you've finished just pre-rounding all your patients, I only usually have 2 or 3, but once you finish pre-rounding on them, you can start writing up a brief note about your updates for the day. But you also have to prep your presentation, because what happens around 8:30 or 9 is that the attending comes in. The attending is the main doctor in charge of the entire care, and you present to the attending if you're in charge of that patient. Once I'm done presenting, we go through all of the patients on the floor. That usually goes until 12 or 1. After that, you then resolve any issues you have. So if the attending says, today I want to order this lab or this lab, you kind of come up with a joint consensus as a team. You make phone calls. Maybe you need to retrieve lab results from another hospital. Maybe you need to call a patient's family and see if they have any collateral information. Any of that stuff you need to do that after rounds. And then you go for lunch, and then you come back, and you do all of this stuff. You write up your notes. And then around 3 or 4, you actually sign out to the night team again. And so every day from 6:30 to 4, that's kind of what's happening, 6:30 to 4. And that's that. So now I'm going to go home. I just got done with the today's day. But hopefully at least that gave you a good overview, because I didn't actually pick up the camera all that much today. Tomorrow, maybe I'll try to actually vlog a little bit in the hospital. But it's always just hard with patient information. But let's see. I'll give you a bit of I'll give you a deeper insight, hopefully tomorrow, okay? All right, let's do it. All right, let's try this again. Day 2, pediatrics. exhausted. 6:20 is what the time is right now. I'm gonna go head over to rounds. To the Yale New Haven playroom, which is on our kids inpatient floor. It's just a way for kiddos to unwind here while they're in the hospital. Sometimes we have activities going on here. Sometimes clowns come in, arts and crafts, a lot of stuff that's happening. As I said, being a kid in the hospital is really scary, and so that's kind of what we do here. It's really, really nice to kind of help them get away. Now it's actually around 8:30. So I finished pre-rounding, which is me going to see patients individually, just checking in on what's going on. And then when real rounding happens is when you present everything you collected during pre-rounds, which is what I just did by myself, to the attending and let them know what's going on. It's actually 5 p.m. and it's been a crazy day, and I actually am here for this thing called post-call. So pretty much from 6:30 to 4 is the normal workday for pediatrics, but from 4 to 8, about once or twice a week, we all take turns staying late so that when the night people arrive, we can sign out to them. But because between from 4 to 8, you don't have as many people, you don't need to have as many people stick around because you don't have that much activity on the floor. And so because of that reason, I'm the one on short call today with one of my preceptors, and we're just going to be here if there are any admissions. We manage all the patients on the floor for about 4 hours, and then when time comes at around 8, we sign out to the night team. It is Friday. I'm supposed to be at my rounds by 6:30, and it's 6:27. Yeah, I have problems. Usually it takes a lot for me to feel as tired as I am right now. But yesterday I definitely stretched myself and I went to sleep at like 3 and woke up at like 6. Don't ask me why I stayed up till 3. I just make stupid decisions. But anyway, that's what happened. And you can tell because sometimes I like just break out when I don't sleep as much. This right here, evidence. But anyway, today's my last official day because we don't have an official clinic day on Friday because we actually do like end of clerkship activities. So today is my last day. So hopefully I have some surprises for you. I may be hanging out with my team a bit more today, hoping the patient load isn't as much, so we'll see. But as right now, I'm really late, so I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys when I get there, hopefully. Woo, last day, and then I actually am off. 6:31, I'm almost there. Now I get to book it from the elevator to my rounds room, but it's only 6:31, so let's see how I can do this. Oh, why do I stop? Good timing. I love this so much.
Oh my god,
it was so good.
Oh, I know who that is too.
Done pre-rounding for today, but I also wanted to show you guys the teen center because pediatrics includes teens and kiddos. So this is actually where we have a mini basketball hoop where kids can come and play. Sometimes they'll draw on a board here, and there's also games and stuff back there. But this is our teen center. It kind of is intended for teens and the people who can't be in the playroom that I showed you earlier in the vlog. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna go back and meet with my team, and we're gonna start rounding now, and it's almost 9. So that's that. Let's do it. It's noon now. Every day at noon, at least in pediatrics, we have some sort of lecture or didactic where they teach us something relevant to pediatrics. Specifically this time around, we have a case conference that's about maternal and pediatric medicine combined. So we actually have a case of a patient who is a mom who was pregnant, who then delivered a baby. And then so one of my classmates who is in the OB-GYN rotation will talk about the mom's delivery course. And then another one of my classmates who is in the pediatric course right now will talk about the baby and how the baby is doing, because the baby is usually somewhat in the NICU because we get a case that's usually critical like that. So we kind of get this longitudinal transfer of care where you see the mom's health issues, you see the mom's condition, you see what in the mom's history may have led to risk factors that then contributed to potentially the baby. And the baby usually also has a unique history, whether that's some level of, deformity, some level of prematurity, whatever it is. We then hear about the baby and we talk about the baby. And the whole point is to analyze this whole longitudinal thing. It's called the maternal fetal conference. And to see, oh my God, how did these things in the mom affect the baby, and how is the baby doing now, and how are we coping with the baby's illness, and how are we coping with the mom's illness, because usually both of them are linked. And so that's actually really cool, and it's also really cool because you feel very doctory when you're talking about this. There's abbreviations everywhere. You talk about the mom. Did she get beta? How many babies has she had before? How many pregnancies has she had before? How many C-sections? Was she prenatally tested? Did she have any like infections that could have crossed the placenta that then led to fetal abnormalities? In terms of the fetus, was the fetus normal? Was it preterm? Was it postterm? Was it mature? Was it intrauterine growth restricted? Was it huge for its age? Was it small for its age? All of that is stuff that we analyze, and so when you're talking about it, it actually feels really interesting to just be able to critically analyze it, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to go to that conference right now, but before that, we're getting some lunch, so see you guys soon. We had a case conference. I showed up 30 minutes late, right?
I was about to text you about this typical Prerak.
We just took some photos to celebrate the end of second year. Hopefully it'll be on Instagram by the time this video is up. These are good. This is where we took it. It's a good view. Look at this. High yield view right here. It's called symmetry. Symmetry of these tile thingies.
You have to record me with my Mickey Mouse.
No, this is PJ, everyone. PJ is a second year pediatric. No, third year now. He's going to be an attending. He's going to be the best. He's a model also in his part-time. This is David. David is a stud. He is med peds. Both David and PJ are studs. This is kind of like The Office. You're correct.
Yeah.
I wanted to introduce you guys to them because
I did not invent an organic chemistry board game though that got me on a national podcast, so I'm nowhere near Prerak.
No. Guys, I won't see you ever again. I hope I will.
He's so dramatic.
That's like pretty dramatic.
Oh my god, when is the next thing he's gonna start crying? Hello!
Ooh. I think PJ's a better dancer.
I'm telling.
Hey.
Oh shit! Wait.
Come on.
Just warming up.
How do you know this so well?
I have no idea. I just
Ooh.
Oh. I have to vlog now because it's just so beautiful with this view in the back. But basically I ended my day today around 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I took some photos with my mentors. I really enjoyed it. And I think one of the biggest things about rotations that I like is you really do get to form relationships with people who you respect a lot. And especially if you convey yourself well, they're meaningful and long-lasting relationships, which is absolutely invaluable to me. Like, that's the part that I love the most about clerkships. It's not me learning a lot, which is my second favorite thing. It's not like the fact that I'm getting graded, which I don't know why I would enjoy. It's actually the fact that I can work with these people who I really, really look up to and build these meaningful relationships that moving forward, like, they're going to be doctors. They're going to be doctors who help train me. And so knowing that I'll have that relationship is actually really meaningful to me. Honestly, I think this was one of my most favorite rotations because I had such amazing mentors who were willing to teach me, who were willing to, take me aside, tell me what I need to improve on, and be honest with me without making me feel bad and recognize that I'm learning. And that's actually something that I'm going to carry forward. Like, medicine is a revolving door. And the experiences that you have, you kind of are expected to a certain extent to pass those down if they're good. And if they're bad, you learn from them and you pass those down as well. So, that's kind of where I'm at. After I finished at 5, I went to play basketball for a bit, and now I was walking around just studying, but the view was so beautiful that I decided to pull out the camera and vlog. But it's been an amazing rotation with Pediatrics. You guys saw a bit of what we did. You do a lot of rounding. You have to know what your patients have. You have to know what medications they're on. You have to know how those medications interact with other medications. You have to know what disease they have. You have to read up on the disease. When the attending asks you a question, you're expected to know it because the patient's your patient. So whether that means knowing the hundreds of medications they're taking, whether that's knowing last time they were hospitalized, like, all of that was inpatient pediatrics, and it was very real and it was very crazy because a lot of these kids are sick. And so when you take responsibility for them, you have to know the whole patient. You can't just zone in on one issue. Like in an outpatient setting, when you're seeing someone in the clinic for 15 minutes, they can say my knee hurts. But in an inpatient setting, you really have to know, like, holy cow, this patient has chronic traumatic brain injury, and you really have to just know how to deal with that, with all of their other potential sequelae that they might be carrying. So I really enjoyed it, and as I said, it was the mentors that really made it meaningful. That's that, and now we're going to study for right now. But I just wanted to show you guys this view because I'm going to study here for about an hour. I don't know, I'm sorry that vlog ended a bit abruptly. It's always so difficult to film a lot of these things because it takes a lot of time, coordination, and I'm exhausted by the time I get home. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Pediatrics is a phenomenal career. You get to work with a lot of kiddos, really make a difference. One of the biggest things in pediatrics is most of your patients do get better, which is enlightening. And so I had a great time. As you saw, we had a dance party, and it's been a great ride. I love my rotation year. I've met some phenomenal people, and I'm so grateful that I had this experience. If you guys like this video, please drop a like. It's literally 3 a.m., but I'm just cranking these out right now. So appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.